Hello guys, my name's Jean and my husband is Zach. I'm using fake names for this story because I don't want to get identified. Let's just say that I like my privacy a bit. Anyway, this story is about my entitled and downright crazy sister-in-law, Sarah. This woman has been the bane of my existence since day one. She hated me and hated the fact that her brother got married before her. After our engagement, she threw multiple fits to get us to cancel our wedding. Thankfully, none of the people around her were on her side. On our wedding day, she took the microphone and announced her engagement to everyone. She even decided to cut our wedding cake before we could. These are just some examples of what Sarah is like. Zach and her parents always spoke against her, but my husband never cut her off. She was his only sibling, so Zach didn't have the heart to abandon her. We had countless fights about this, but never resolved. Her behavior always escalated and caused trouble for us. She never apologized for creating problems or improved her behavior. Even Sarah's fiancé, Cole, was tired of apologizing to us on her behalf. Sarah was overall a very bad person who made my life hell. But I wasn't prepared for just how crazy she was. It all started on the day I announced my pregnancy to her and my in-laws. We already had the baby's gender and decided to reveal it at a family dinner. Everyone was of course happy for us and super excited. But Sarah absolutely lost her damn mind. She said, No, there is no freaking way. You are not having a kid before me. This cannot be happening. Sarah, why are you saying stuff like this? It's not a competition to have children. You will have one too when it's the right time. Yes, it's a competition, Zach. I am older than you and deserve to have the first kid in this family. Your witch wife is not taking that away from me. It's bad enough that you got married before me. Sarah, there is no harm in getting married or having a child later. Our child wasn't planned anyway, but we are happy to have him now. Listen to me, Jean. You are not having a child before me. I won't allow it. You need to do something to make this right. You will not have this child. Are you insane, Sarah? What the hell do you want me to do? Make a time machine and go back to the past? You will get rid of it, Jean. I allowed you to get married to my brother, but I won't allow this. You will not have a child first. You will wait till I have my one child. I was baffled by Sarah's horrendous solution to her own problem. I was trying very hard to understand if she was joking or not. She told me to get rid of my child so that she could have the first baby in the family. I was freaking shocked and mad. Judging by the faces of everyone else in the room, they were shocked as well. Zach said, Sarah, this child will be your nephew. How can you say these things about your own blood? I don't care if he is my own blood. I don't want him to be born. It's still early and very few people know. You can get rid of it very easily. Absolutely not, Sarah. We are not getting rid of our child because of your self-created problems. We cannot do that. Yes, you will do that. If you can't do it on your own, I will drag you to a clinic and make you do it. Hell, I will even pay for the entire thing. What the hell is wrong with you? What are you even saying? You should be happy for them, not tell them to get rid of the baby? Suddenly, Sarah was being confronted by everyone in the family. Zach was more heartbroken than mad. Even my in-laws were berating their daughter for being such a horrible person. The entire ambience turned so bad that I and Zach left early. On our way to the house, I made it clear that I wanted nothing to do with Sarah anymore. This time, Zach agreed with me. I was happy that he was finally doing something to stop his wicked sister from ruining our lives. But Zach did 180 within the next 3 months. Sarah didn't reach out to us in these 3 months, so the piece got to Zach's head. He said, "Jean, I've been thinking for a while. I think it's time we allow Sarah back into our lives." "Why the hell would we do that, Zach? Are you even hearing yourself?" "Look, I know that you think my sister's crazy, and I have my doubts as well, but she hasn't said or done anything in the past 3 months. I really want our child to know their Aunt Jean. She is my only sister." "Yes, your only sister who wanted us to get rid of her nephew. Your logic is impeccable, Zach." "What happened is in the past now, Jean. I'm sure she has had time to calm down and rethink things." "Mom and Dad are also saying that she has come around. Maybe we can give her a chance. Why don't we meet her at the family dinner next week? It's cruel to ask Mom and Dad not to invite her. We can't keep skipping family dinners just because she's there." Zach and I had a long discussion and a mild argument about his logic. However, I could tell that he was determined to bring Sarah back into our lives. I was not on board with his logic, but thought that I could give Sarah a last chance. Besides, I didn't want Zach to blame me for separating him and our son from Sarah, so I agreed to give her a chance. Don't worry, I also promised myself to be cautious. I didn't trust Sarah at all, especially after her outburst. Well, turns out I was right not to trust Sarah. We had the dinner planned and everyone was excited. Even Zach was excited because he thought that this time he would get a positive reaction out of Sarah. I highly doubt that and was proved right a day before the party. It was Cole who called me with the bad news. He said, "Sorry for disturbing you, Jean. I know you're having a hard time with this pregnancy and I don't want to stress you out anymore, but I needed to tell you something." "What is it, Cole? You sound very upset. You can tell me what's going on." "It's about Sarah, Jean. She's been making plans to sabotage your pregnancy. I'm afraid she wants to hurt your child." "What do you mean, Cole? This is a very serious accusation. You need to tell me everything." "Sarah has told her parents about bringing cupcakes to the dinner. What she didn't tell them is that she has planned to put aspirin in your cupcakes. She knows that the doctor advised you against taking aspirin, and she knows what will happen if you do." So, Sarah wanted to make aspirin-laced cupcakes for me. This woman went to the extent of making a special dish solely to make me lose my baby. When Sarah's fiancé told me about this, I was freaking horrified. He said that he tried his best to stop Sarah from being so vindictive, but he was unsure if Sarah would listen to him at all. He was already getting super frustrated with her and said, "I can understand why you're speechless, Jean. You might think that I'm making stuff up. Believe me, I would have been relieved if this was a joke. Unfortunately, it's not. This has been haunting me for a while, Jean. I knew I needed to tell you." "It's all right, Cole. I really appreciate that you told me about this. You did the right thing. It is difficult to believe that Sarah would go to this extent, but you never know how bad people can be." "Trust me, Jean. I'm horrified by Sarah. I'm thinking long and hard about whether I want to stay with such a sick and twisted person." "I can understand that, Cole. If I were in your shoes, I would have second thoughts too. She's acting like an insane woman. It's downright scary." "I knew that, Jean. I have been with her for 5 years. There is a reason why I waited so long to propose to her. I genuinely thought that she was improving. However, now I see that she hasn't improved one bit." "Look, Cole, I'm not going to tell you what to do with your life. That is totally up to you. But you need to rethink this relationship for good, or maybe push Sarah for therapy. Anyway, thanks again for telling me, Cole. I will always remember what you did for me today." I said that and hung up. What Cole didn't see was that I was on the verge of having a nervous breakdown. I was alone at home and extremely hormonal. Still, I tried to concentrate on my breathing and stay calm for the sake of my child. There was no way I would do anything to hurt my child. I calmed myself down even though a few tears escaped. I wondered if I should tell Zach about what Cole told me today. Zach still had a lot of love for his sister, especially now that he was going to be a father. I wasn't sure what Zach would do, so I decided to wait till the day of our family dinner. On the day of the dinner, I went to my in-laws' house with a little bit of nervousness. My hormones were all over the place, and I prayed that I wouldn't attack Sarah once I saw her. I was in Mama Bear mode, and the thought of someone hurting my child sent me into a rage. Zach could tell that something was up. He asked me multiple times if I was okay, but I told him that we would talk after dinner. Very unsurprisingly, Sarah and Cole both came for dinner. Sarah was excitedly telling her mom how she was trying a new recipe and made cupcakes for everyone to try. I stayed quiet and stopped myself from beating the shit out of her. Cole also kept looking at me with worried eyes. After dinner, Sarah presented us all with her special cupcakes. They were rather large cupcakes with a generous amount of buttercream on top. It was so big that she had to serve it on plates. She smirked at me when she handed me my plate. She also kept a plate for herself and went to the kitchen to get a fork. Yes, she eats her cupcakes with forks. When she left, I immediately swapped my plate with hers. No one noticed it. Not even Cole. They were busy appreciating the beautiful cupcakes. Sarah came back and we all had the cupcakes. Sarah made a face when she had hers. She immediately looked at me while I smiled sweetly at her. I said, "Is something wrong, Sarah? You don't look too happy with your cupcake. I must say that it is delicious. We all know what a good baker you are. You have outdone yourself." "I know how good my skills are, Jean. You don't have to patronize me. I can tell by looking at everyone that they enjoyed my treat. You are the one who didn't clean your plate." "Oh, you used a lot of chocolate, Sarah. You know it contains caffeine, right? I already had a small bar of chocolate before I came here. I don't want to overdose." "Jean's right, Sarah. Cupcake is good, but she shouldn't be eating it all today. We can't risk hurting the baby." "Sorry about that, Sarah, but by all means finish your cupcake, Sarah. It would be sad to waste such a nice cupcake. I will take mine home and finish it tomorrow." Sarah looked really mad at me and dropped the issue. She reluctantly finished her own cupcake, even though she knew that she had eaten the wrong one by mistake. But she wasn't sure if I was the one who swapped it. Sarah was clever. She added a lot of chocolate and sugar so that the bitterness of the medicines could be reduced. Still, somehow, she could taste it on her cupcake. With her plan failing, she went home early, mad and upset. I was glad that I was able to save myself before anything happened. When we went back home, Zach immediately asked me what was wrong with me today. He said, "You said that you'll tell me what's bothering you. Now that we're home, I don't see why we can't discuss this now." "Zach, I really want to tell you, but I don't know how you'll react to this." "What is it, Jean? I promise I'll stay calm. There's no way I would do or say anything to affect my pregnant wife." "Zach, your sister tried to make me lose our baby. She laced my cupcake with aspirin tablets. Cole told me her plan last night. I avoided taking the cupcake by swapping her plate with mine. Since it's just aspirin, I let Sarah eat her own special cupcake." "What the hell are you saying, Jean? There is no way this is true. I know my sister has been very mean towards you, but she would never do this. This has to be a joke, Jean." Zach and I argued for a long time. I even asked him to talk to Cole and verify the facts. Zach had a hard time believing that Sarah would do something so horrible and twisted. He was in complete disbelief. Just as I was going to call Cole for verification, he called us instead. He seemed panicked and told us to meet him at the hospital. Apparently, Sarah had to be admitted. We rushed to the hospital and found Sarah lying on a bed, crying her eyes out. Even Cole had tears in his eyes and was crying in a corner. When we asked him what happened, Cole started to get really mad. "You want to know what happened? What I told Jean was exactly what happened. Sarah laced Jean's cupcake with medicines to make her lose the child. At the family dinner, Sarah accidentally ate the cupcake made for Jean. Sarah was pregnant and didn't know. We have lost the child due to her psychotic planning. What? Sarah, is this true? Jean told me everything, but I refuse to believe her. Tell me this is not true, Sarah. Don't stay quiet. I want answers. Did you try to hurt my child? What will she say, Zach? I don't think she's mentally in the right place to accept her wrongs. Hearing me speak, Sarah started to rage at me. She started to scream and hurl insults at me and the baby in my belly. The things she said were so vile that I cannot put them here. I am sure it will offend and traumatize you guys just like me. The venom Sarah spewed shocked me, Zach and Cole equally. But I didn't have to say anything back. They were quick to step in for me. They said, "You have some nerve talking about my wife and child like that, Sarah. I cannot believe how evil you have become. You are sick and out of your mind, Sarah. I made a mistake by ever allowing you back in my life. I simply wanted my child to have his aunt in his life, but now I see that I invited a monster." Shut up, Zach. Just shut up. I have had enough of you and your wife talking about the baby. I'm sick of it. I never wanted to be in your damn baby's life. I hate him. And I hate your wife. She should have lost the child, not me. How dare you, Sarah? How dare you blame Jean for this? This is all your fault. We lost our baby because of your fault. I warned you, begged you not to do this. You didn't listen to me. Did you expect to get away without consequences after planning something so horrible? I was right to do what I did. I wanted to end that child. I'm older and should have been pregnant first. She had no right to steal that from me. I hate her, and I hate her damn baby. If only I had been careful, it would have been her on this bed. You will pay for this, Jean. I will destroy you for killing my child. You must be truly delusional to still blame me for what you did. Had you not made a laced cupcake for me, this wouldn't have happened. It's the universe's way of punishing you for what you tried to do to me. Karma is truly there. No, this is all your fault. I know you must have done something. I made sure you got the laced cupcake. I made sure you would lose the baby. Yes, Sarah, you did everything you could to make me lose my child. Unfortunately for you, Cole told me your plan. At today's dinner, I swapped my plate with yours. I had no idea that you were pregnant, and I am guessing neither did you. After hearing this, Sarah started to scream at me again. She actually tried to get out of bed and lunge at me. Cole caught her and kept her on the bed. Sarah didn't realize that she had confessed to her own evil plans. Zach was furious and said, "That's it, Sarah. I loved you and wanted my child to have an aunt. I got carried away with my emotions and let you around my wife and child again. I had no idea you would go this far to satisfy your ego. What Jean did to you was an accident, but what you did was intentional. There is no way I am ever allowing you in our life again. I am freaking done with you. Cole, I'm sorry, man, but you should really start reevaluating your engagement." You know what, guys? I don't have to think about this anymore. After today, I want nothing to do with you, Sarah. This engagement and relationship are both off. You can keep the ring. I won't stay with anyone who's so hell-bent on ruining others. You are leaving me, Cole? This is Jean's fault that I lost our child. It was your fault that you leaked my plan to her. You are equally responsible for me losing my child. How the hell is Cole responsible, Sarah? He tried to stop you multiple times. You were the one who didn't listen. And don't accuse Jean. She is not some psycho who goes around casually plotting to kill babies. You are the one who did this and got trapped in your own plan. Cole, I support your decision to leave my sister. You can move in with us if you need to be away from her. We don't mind. Cole immediately accepted Zach's offer and decided to stay with us for the time being. He was so disgusted with Sarah that he didn't want to be around her anymore. My in-laws came to see Sarah and were given all the sordid details of what transpired. They were horrified to know that their daughter had turned into a psychopath. They supported us, but also decided to take in Sarah at least until she got back on her feet. We made sure that my in-laws would stay with Sarah and then left. In the next few days, there was radio silence from Sarah. My in-laws gave her a stern talk and threatened to kick her out if she didn't keep her mouth shut. They didn't want her to disturb me since she was making some nasty threats towards me. At the end of 2 weeks, they were forced to get her admitted to a psych ward. Apparently, some of Sarah's friends got to know that story and contacted my in-laws to share more tales of Sarah going mad at them and doing nasty stuff. My in-laws finally realized that something was wrong with Sarah and got her admitted to a facility. But Sarah dropped out by herself within a week and threatened them for putting her there. My in-laws were then forced to call the police and get her taken away. They are heartbroken and don't want anything to do with her anymore. Now, let's get on to some good news. I gave birth to a healthy baby boy very recently. The stress from Sarah made me and Zach really anxious till the birth of our son. Things have cooled down now, so I have decided to post the story. Cole is also doing okay and has moved to a place nearby. We have allowed him to meet our child since he has become a friend now. Sarah doesn't contact us anymore since we put a restraining order against her. We used all the evidence from her texts and witness reports from Cole to get the order done. Since Sarah cannot contact us, she posts as her parents sometimes. But my in-laws refuse to enable her anymore and are keeping her out of their lives for good.